All right, so we're gonna get this dog fitted up with all of this stuff. We're not gonna use the e-collar yet here, but I will put it on. So why don't you go ahead and give me that? Thank you. Oh, you're strong. Excellent. I forgot my fanny pack at home. Too many things. All right. A little skittish of new people.
So yeah, another thing that she has is that she has a, well, it's not that huge anymore.
She bite people?
But...
Am I putting my face in a bad spot? So the other thing.
She's never like bit anyone, like not even kids or anything like that. But
Good.
She has a little bit of anxiety.
Sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, you can tell she's a little skittish for sure.
Yeah, especially when like I leave.
Oh,
She'll just stare at me like, "Where are you going?
Yep.
Where are you leaving me?"
All right. Now here's the thing. Sometimes I do stuff like this and people are like, David, that dog's so stressed out. Aren't you scared it's gonna bite you, this or that? Like, you know, listen, I don't recommend people just like go right up to dogs and like jump right in and just like throw a collar on them all willy-nilly, but I'm accepting the risks here, right? Now, with that being said though, a lot of times, especially in shelter situations and stuff, we see dogs that are very skittish of touch, right? And a lot of people are like, oh, you know, like, I don't know if this dog is gonna bite me or not. So a couple of things that I'll do to try to avoid or minimize risk is before I ever even go to take the collar on or put it on or whatever it may be, is I get the dog to at least stay in my space first. A lot of times what'll happen, and don't worry about trying to get her to do anything right now or anything. A lot of times what'll happen, or when the dogs are more likely to try to bite, is when you're trying to grab for them when they're trying to get away from you, right? So if you could bridge that gap first and get the dog to come to you, you're getting them into a little bit different of a state of mind and you're reducing some of that pressure that they feel of trying to fight to get back. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just take the leash, I'll pull them all the way into me. I want to get them essentially touching me, and then I try to go loose on that leash. And what I want to do is I want to get this dog to stay next to me here without any sort of tension on the leash before I actually go to interact, right? So right now I have this dog next to me, touching me, no tension on the leash. So now if I need to go and check the collar or something, there's a lot less pressure, right?
So with that being said,
yep.
Dogs that have no collar, no anything,
sure.
Get a slip lead on them.
Mm-hmm.
Am I just sitting in their kennel until they'll let me put something on?
No, you got to do it. If you know, here's the thing. Like, if you got to do it, you got to do it, right? Like, if I'm really concerned, like I've definitely like worked with dogs before, where it's like, you know, like I can't touch this dog because this dog is gonna bite me, but it also doesn't have anything on. Right. You make contraptions as you need to, right? I'm very, very talented with a long broom handle with a slip lead at the very end of it, where you just kind of like, you know, like lasso them a little bit. Yeah, I did one time. I worked with an Anatolian Shepherd, and if you're like a very large breed dog, they're like usually like 200 pounds ish, right? And this dog also was very aggressive too, like to bite people, particularly when you try to put a muzzle on the dog. So I made a contraption utilizing like a dowel rod, a pair of vice grips, like duct tape to the end of it with the muzzle attached to that, and then the back strap of the muzzle I made bigger so I could lasso it over the dog's head, and had to like finagle it with like two things to like get this thing on it. It was ridiculous. I have a video of it somewhere. It was pretty funny, but you got to get creative with it. You got to get it done one way or another, you know. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get this prong fitted up as well here. So the prong goes nice and high, obviously right behind the ears, and I try to have it fitted as snugly as possible. Now the prong collar, the way that I use them, this is not like a finishing tool, right? You will never see one of these on my dogs at this point in their training, because the prong collar is intended, in the way that I look at it, to shape behaviors, right? You could shape things, you could teach them how to move with it, you could physically move them into a sit or a down or this or that. But if I'm at a stage where I'm still managing my dogs very frequently with the leash, in my eyes, the dog is not fully trained or not fully understanding enough of those behaviors just yet, right? So I usually use this while I'm teaching things, and then I fade it out to just the e-collar at the end.